Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to answer which is the best growth stock to buy, Palantir, NIO, or Amazon. I'm going to compare these three on 4 different metrics starting with revenue growth, so let's get right into it. In its most recent quarter, Palantir grew revenue at 17.5%. That's compared to 25.36% for NIO and just 8.58% for Amazon. Now, these three stocks are in 3 different industries, but they're all experiencing decelerating revenue growth as the macroeconomic outlook has worsened in recent quarters and recent months. The next metric I wanted to look at was the operating margin over the trailing 12 months. And looking at this metric, Palantir has shown impressive expansion, at least decreasing its losses, getting closer to profitability at negative 8.46% trailing operating profit margin. And in fact, Palantir said that it expects in fiscal year 2023 it's going to be GAAP net profitable. So if we look at this metric in December of 2023, it could be a positive figure. It could very likely be a positive figure by then. NIO has also done a good job at decreasing its operating losses as it has ramped up production. Its operating margin was negative 26.24% in its most recent quarter. Meanwhile, Amazon has been moving in the opposite direction. It's in the positive territory. However, its operating margin peaked out at over 6% in July of 2021 and has since been moving downward to 2.38% in the most recent trailing 12-month period. I've been saying on my channel now for months that Amazon overinvested in capacity during the pandemic. That was intentional. It knew it was going to be difficult to precisely match the soaring consumer demand with the capacity it needed, and it said, you know what, if we're going to make a mistake, let's make a mistake in overinvesting. Let's retain our customer loyalty, let's regain the trust in our customers, and let's overinvest. And if we need to, we'll sacrifice our margins a little bit just so that we can please our customers. Now, while that might be great news for customers, it's not such great news for investors, at least in the near term. Maybe longer term, that plays out to show a higher degree of customer loyalty and higher customer retention, but that remains to be seen. For now, what you're getting as an Amazon investor is shrinking profit margins. The next metric I wanted to look at is cash flow from operations to sales on a trailing 12-month basis. With Palantir, it's showing, again, nice progress, increasing its cash flow from operations to sales, turning 11.74% of sales into cash flow from operations. That's a good metric, right? And that's ahead of Amazon at 9.1% of sales that turn into cash flow from operations. This was down nearly half from over 16% at the peak of January 2021. Meanwhile, NIO's results are so negative we don't even get the data for them because they're clearly in the negative. They're losing so much money. They're losing so much cash flow from operations as they ramp up production. Finally, the last thing I'm going to look at is valuation, and I chose to use the price to sales forward ratio to compare these three stocks. And according to this metric, Palantir is the most expensive at a forward price to sales of 8.08. Next comes in at NIO at a forward price to sales of 1.195, and then NIO is the least expensive, and then in the middle is Amazon at 1.734 price to sales ratio. So right now, if you were an investor and you were thinking about which one of these growth stocks to buy, it's really close between Amazon and Palantir. Palantir is making great progress, decreasing its losses and operating margin. However, for now, I would still give Amazon the edge here because it's still in the positive in terms of operating profits and cash flows. And Palantir has said it's going to be profitable in 2023. It still needs to prove that it can do what it says, right? It still needs to prove that it's going to execute on that, and I want to see more progress. Even though it's doing an excellent job, it's got a little more progress it can prove in that regard. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. I truly appreciate your viewership. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.